Wanna boost your SAT score by 100 plus points fast? These 10 easy hacks helped me score 780 out of 800 in SAT Maths and land in the 98th percentile. So let's dive right in. Don't solve, estimate. If choices are far apart like 250 or 300, round and rough solve. This saves 20 plus minutes total across the test. Know when not to use the Desmos. In square roots, fractions, percentrics, they're all doable in your head if you prep. Plug in your own numbers. If you hate variables, then you can replace them. Let x be 2, y be 4, and it turns abstract algebra into basic arithmetic. Focus on units. Meters versus centimeters, hours versus minutes. The high traps in unit conversions. Make sure to check units twice. Learn function shifts. f of x plus 2 equals left, f of x minus 3 equals right. Don't get smoked by a simple graph question. Every time you see of, think multiplication. 20% of 150 equals 0.2 multiplied by 150. This will help on every percent and ratio question. Make sure to join my free newsletter, one email once a week. Insane SAT tips, deadly traps, and must-know SAT questions. This stuff no one teaches. Straight to your inbox. First link in the description. Learn the percent change formula. New minus old divided by old multiplied by 100. It's not just for charts. It's like in 6 plus test questions in total. Respect the last 2 questions. They're meant to slow you down. They're bait. If you're pacing it tight, go for it. If not, leave and return. Don't solve absolute value equations. Just graph them. When you see something like x minus 3 equals to x in minus 1, graph both sides on Desmos, find the intersection, and it's gonna be way faster. Break your own equation if they give you a scenario. If they say the cos is directly proportional to the square of the radius, that would be c equals k multiplied by r squared and plug a value. Do not overthink of these types of questions. Before we move on, can I be honest for a second? Why is SAT English always the worst parts? Like boring grammar drills, weird YouTube hacks, invitations that don't even help. I've literally tried everything and it literally sucks. Am I the only one? No, you're not the only one. SAT English has been a mess for years. But something just dropped that changes everything. Wait, what is it? Quick heads up, this video is kindly sponsored by Learnmazing, but it's actually fire. It's the first fully animated SAT English course. Animated? More like Pixar meets test prep. The grammar is taught through storytelling. The lessons are fun, easy, and enjoyable. You're not zoning out, you're hooked. Okay, but are the questions even real? Yeah, all based on actual SAT style questions written by real experts who've been in the game for years. But I just need practice like real test conditions. They've got that too, to time it and tracked practice sets, just like the digital SAT. You're not just learning, you're leveling up every time you log in. Well, that sounds too good, but what do other students say? Here's what students said. I can easily focus on practicing my weaknesses. This is so useful when preparing for the SAT. The lesson videos are also really helpful in telling you which skills and tactics are important for what kind of questions. Okay, where do I try this? The link is in the description, and if you're dragging your feet with English prep, this is your sign. Try Learnmazing. You might finally enjoy SAT English. Probability equals desired over total. Every time, that is it. Don't let the wordy nonsense scare you. Watch the patterns. SAT recycles same questions but with different outfits. The more you drill, the more you will see the metrics. Don't touch the calculator for square roots. The square root of 49, it's 7. The square root of 81, it's 9. You should know perfect Squares up to 20, like your phone passcode. Never do long division on griddings. Turn that into a decimal or fraction that you recognize. Ain't nobody got time to dividing 413 by 18. Fractions, multiply everything to get rid of them. 1 over 2x plus 3 equals 5. Multiply by 2 everything. If a figure is not drawn to scale, don't trust your eyes. That triangle might be lying to you. Use the numbers, not the vibe. Learn every single topic tested on the SAT. Don't hope it won't show up. It definitely will. Gaps equal panic, and that equals dropped score. Master everything once and nothing can surprise you. Rewatch and write the notes. First watch is a hype. Second watch is a memory. Third watch and plus notes, that's when it sticks. Before we get into the next part, let's be real. If what you're doing right now actually worked, you would already have a 1500. Well, most SAT students aren't lazy. They're just stuck. They don't have a real plan, they had too many books and still making silly mistakes on easy SAT questions. That's exactly why I built the SAT Elite Coaching. SAT Elite Coaching is a coaching program where I train students live twice a week using real SAT patterns that show up on test day over and over again. You're not watching videos, you're solving, strategizing, fixing what actually holds you back. You will get access to 8 live sessions a month, session recordings, priority support, and a full SAT prep community. So the first strategy is eliminating fractions early on in these types of questions. And to show you how to use this strategy, let's solve this exact question. So the first thing that you want to do is that you want to eliminate fractions early on, as I said before. So to do that, we should find the least common denominator. In this case, the least common denominator is 6xyz. And what we can do is we can multiply the entire equation by this equation. So we can multiply the entire equation by this. So let's do that step by step. 6xyz multiplied by 1 over 3xy plus 6xyz multiplied by xyz, and that is going to equal to 6xyz multiplied by 1 over 2yz, 1 over 2yz. So now we can simplify each term here. X and y are removed here. And 6 over 3, that's going to equal to 2. So we got 2z plus 6xyz squared, and that's going to equal to, we can remove y and z here, and 6 over 2 equals 3, so 3x. So now we can solve for y, and before solving for y, let's subtract 2z from both sides. That is, well, 2z. So that will be 6 multiplied by x, y, z squared. And that's going to equal to 3x minus 2z. And now we can divide both sides by 6. So we get x, y, z squared equals 3x minus 2z divided by 6. And now we can take the square root of both sides. So that would be x, y, z equals 3x minus 2z divided by 6x. And now what we can do is we can divide both sides by z by zx so that we can isolate y. So that would be this multiplied by 1 over xy. Here's multiplied by 1 over xz. So we can eliminate x and z here, so that the y equals, and what we can do in this case is 1 over 6z is the same as 1 over x squared z squared. So we can rewrite it this way, and then we multiply these two things. We can rewrite it as y equals square root of 3x minus 2z divided by 6x third that squared. So y is going to equal to this. By the way, 99% of students are grinding for months, and most of them still are scoring so low. And you might be wondering why. And the reason is they're focused on the wrong things. And on May 24th, I'm hosting a free live SAT challenge where I will show you the one strategy that top scorers use and how to master it, even if you've never taken a test before. Seats are very limited, so hit the link in the description to register. Strategy number 2 that you need to know is looking for transitions. Well, not just in transition questions, but also in SAT read. Before we get into the next part, let's be real. If what you're doing right now actually worked, you'd already have a 1500. Well, most SAT students aren't lazy. They're just stuck. They don't have a real plan. They had too many books and still making silly mistakes on easy SAT questions. That's exactly why I built the SAT Elite Coaching. SAT Elite Coaching is a coaching program where I train students live twice a week using real SAT patterns that show up on test day over and over again. You're not watching videos, you're solving, strategizing, fixing what actually holds you back. You will get access to 8 live sessions a month, session recordings, priority support, and a full SAT prep community. Reading questions as well. Transition words like however, moreover, or in contrast, they usually indicate shifts in the direction of the argument. So in order to illustrate the strategy, let me show you how to use that exact same strategy in this SAT reading questions. So to solve this question, you first need to analyze the overall structure of the text. So it asks for that. So the passage starts off by stating a very general claim, saying movies from independent studios are often praised for being innovative. And then it is giving a specific example. Take, for instance, Moonlight 2016, which is made by A24 production company. And it's giving a specific example of Moonlight, and it's true that this movie shares themes with other coming-of-age films. But just because a movie explores familiar territory doesn't mean it can also be groundbreaking. So it's introducing a contrast with the transition word of but. And it is saying that it's giving a counterpoint despite movies might have familiar themes, it cannot still be groundbreaking. So yeah, critics generally agree that Moonlight isn't the most conventional independent film, but independent films are rarely as formulaic as some people suggest. Then it's presenting the main argument. The main argument here is independent films are not as formulaic as some people claim. And some independent productions, like the Florida Project, are remarkably distinctive. And finally, it's giving us another example of the Florida projects so that they can to support this argument. Now let's look at the answer choices. Choice A, the text summarizes the plot of an independent film, then explains how the themes are developed in a later film by the same director. Well, A is wrong because the text doesn't even summarize any plots or discuss later films by the same director, so that's why A is wrong. Choice B, the text explains why some viewers appreciated a particular independent film, then considers why other viewers criticized it. Well, choice B is wrong because the text doesn't focus on explaining different viewers' perspectives, whether one sort of a viewer enjoyed it or the other type of a viewer didn't enjoy it. So it doesn't focus on explaining perspectives of different viewers. So that's why B is wrong. Choice C. The text describes audience's reaction to a movie from an independent studio, then presents some critics' reactions to that movie. Well, choice C is wrong because the text doesn't even describe audience reactions specifically. There's nothing about the reaction, so that's why C is wrong. Choice D, the text discusses a common praise of independent films, then argues that the praise is mostly warranted. Well, choice D is the correct answer because the reading passage discusses a very common phrase of independent films being innovative, and then it talks about that this phrase is generally deserved. Although some films might share familiar elements, so that's why D is right. So now let's move on to the next SAT question. So here we've got the equations and you need to find the value of A minus B. So let's solve it. So the first thing is we need to find the common denominator. So common denominator here is 4. So what you can do is you can multiply this one by 2. So let's solve that. A minus 12 over 4 plus 2B plus 30 divided by 4 is going to equal to minus 3. So we can add. Before we get into the next part, let's be real. If what you're doing right now actually worked, you would already have a 1500. Well, most SAT students aren't lazy. They're just stuck. They don't have a real plan. They have too many books and still making silly mistakes on easy SAT questions. That's exactly why I built the SAT Elite Coaching. SAT Elite Coaching is a coaching program where I train students live twice a week using real SAT patterns that show up on test day over and over again. You're not watching videos, you're solving, strategizing, fixing what actually holds you back. You will get access to 8 live sessions a month, session recordings, priority support, and a full SAT prep community. These things together, so that would be A plus 2B plus 18 divided by 4, and that's going to equal to negative 3. And we can multiply both sides by 4, and we get A plus 2B plus 18 equals negative 12. And from here we got a plus 2b equals -30. So here we've got this simplified version of the first equation, equation 1. And now let's simplify the second equation. So if you have the second equation, and we can multiply this part by 2. So that would be 2a minus 24 divided by 4 minus b plus 15 divided by 4 equals 4. So from here, you can get 2a minus b minus 39 divided by 4, and that's going to equal to 4. And now we can multiply both sides by 4. So we get, so let me erase this, and we get 16. So yep, so that's going to equal to 16. And you can add 39 to both sides. So after that, we got 2a minus b equals 55. And now we have the second equation as well, the simplified version of it, equation number 2. And we also have the simplified version of equation 1 as well. Now we can use elimination by adding both of these equations. And yeah, that's in realized. So plus, let me get it from here. Yep, here discounted. So yep, we can add both of these here. I guess the best thing that we can do is that we can divide this part by 2, so that's going to be a lot easier here. So if we multiply it by 2, we will have 4 here, and here we will have -60, and it's better to subtract it. So let's do that. So that if 5b equals -105, so b equals, so that would be 21, -21. And we found b, now we should find a. Let's put it in this equation. So that would be 2a plus 40 plus 21 equals 55. So we can subtract 21 from both sides, so we get 2a equals 34 and a equals 17. So the question asks it for the value of a minus b. So that would be this. So 17 minus 21. Double negatives equal to positive. So we have 38, and our answer is 38. And that's a free response question, so you can write 38 here. Now that you know the basic hacks of increasing your SAT score, if you want to speed up your growth and know the real reason why you're stuck at a low score, click on this video where I will tell you exactly what's holding you back and what you actually need to do. So click this video next to boost your SAT score.